My name is Kim Franks, and my pronouns are she, her, and I am founder and CEO of Liberated Roots Co. Roots Oasis is the nest. It's a third space that is home for the Liberated Roots Co. community. And so I founded Liberated Roots Co. with the purpose of celebrating my love of sustainable fashion while also amplifying Black-owned brands. There's just a lot of unrest around the murder of George Floyd and Michael Brown. And so there's just like a succession of unrest, and with that resistance and that intense work, fatigue. And I wanted to do something to spark creativity and hope and provide support for other Black creatives. And so that's why I founded Liberated Roots. And I started as Liberated Roots Collection. My mission intention is to spark community, cooperation, cooperative economics, and to celebrate our collective identity. And we're sitting in this space with just the Roots Oasis, and so right now we're in the heart of the space. Where we're sitting at used to be merchandise, but I wanted to hold space for meetups, for other artists to come in here and do workshops, to pop up. And so Roots Oasis is where the community can exist in person. A lot of the people that I intersect with in this world, we're all creatives. So what is creative energy? Creative energy is like basically taking something that does not exist and manifesting it as an idea, as a material thing, or as a way of being and a life that you want to have. And I think that's where creativity looks in. Like you see it's just being able to have a vision for the future that doesn't exist, that exists above and beyond oppression. One of the big things that I've been working on this year is really leaning into collaboratives with other creatives. So I've started working with a collaborative of a few other business creatives, and we started meeting up once a month and talking about not only how we work together, because like the whole thing is like we want to work together, but we don't want to be a clique. We're all deeply committed to doing what we do in a way that is as positively impactful in the community as possible. We're all people who like to build and amplify others, and so we need space. So we're trying to build our capacity to sales, but then our give back to community is like using our collaborative as like trying to figure out a model for in identifying and naming it, what makes it safe for us to work together. Just talking about being a Black-owned business and being in community as a Black person, systemically we have been discouraged from working together. There have been active efforts that undermine Black cooperation. So it's almost subconsciously scary, the whole idea of collaborating and being familiar with what that looks like. This year has been about, finding ways to lean into those intersections and being intentional in designing like what makes it comfortable for you to go and do your thing, and then you interact with me. And so like last month I had a whole slew of workshops and collaborations here at the shop, but now like this month I'm kind of stepping back and thinking about how can I do better, what worked and what didn't work. Very low percentage of my sales are online. It's because I felt like coming off of the pandemic, we needed a space where community can see each other, and there's something that's different that makes you see the humanity of others when you can smell them. You can like subtly feel the heat, the body heat in their room. I watch how people respond when they enter and what they say and what they smell. And it's so important to me how people feel here. Mutual aid is realizing that the wealth is tied into our connection to each other. That if we realize our collective humanity and the value in each other, that everything we need exists. I do clothing swaps quarterly, and it allows people to sustainably reset their wardrobes and also just have fun seeing how when you release something, the joy that it sparks, so people are there and they get to see it. So I love clothing swaps. One of the things that I'm wanting to happen and evolve with the clothing swap is that each clothing swap we designate an organization that we want to give a donation to, and then that we're a little bit more intentional. It's not just about getting stuff, it's about that community. Also, with the collaboration that I'm doing with these other businesses, there could be a model of mutual aid within the business community too. Every now and then I could go to a vendor market, and if I see someone who's a startup, I invite them to pop up, and people are usually like pretty surprised, like, for real, like what do you want out of having Munchkin Church? I was like, I said just use my space. That happens with mutual aid too, where people are not used just someone going here, or like the value for me is that when you use the space, it feels energy, brings energy. First of all, like the energy sparks and activates me, but also brings foot traffic to the store, which allows, sales revenue that kind of allows me to keep going with what I'm doing. I've carried several local brands in here and have been like, hey, you know what, do you want to just take over the shop today? And you can just have this pop up. You can just be your feature day. And so Liberated Roots, the name Liberated Roots, reflects that you don't completely disband what you have in the substance. So there's the soul and the essence. So there's the soul and essence of my community, of my community as a Black woman. There are things that are just so fundamental to my existence in the way that I do, that are responsible for why I'm still here, to why my mother was able to birth me, why my mother's mother was able to birth her, and before, and that woman whose body was enslaved. In spite of all odds, what was the essence that have allowed us to exist? So then it's allowing those roots to continue to be strong and to exist and to see value in them. Liberation is the fruits. I see like our children, I see our future as the fruits. So if you tap into your roots, then build off of that, that's the pathway to living a life where we don't just exist, but where we thrive. Most people, when they think about generational wealth, they think about assets like property and money. But also, it's interesting living life as a middle-class Black woman in a community that is like, when you see how connected people are, and you can just pick up the phone and say, I need this. So being able to, I feel like my spirit is in the example that I set with my spirit, my faith, with how I live, the values and the way that I choose to exist. Those things are generational wealth too. And to be a person that can be a place of calm and comfort and safety for other people, I feel like that's a gift, right? So that allows me to be able to have a community and a village.